Maria here. Welcome to my channel. Today I want to share with you my top 10 perfumes for 2020. So these are perfumes that I have worn the most, that I just can't stop sniffing for whatever reason. And yes, you could say that I absolutely love them. But before we get started, if you haven't subscribed, just go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Become part of the Weird and Wonderful family. I would love it if you would join. And I just am so thankful for all of you. This has been a really great year. I know there's a lot of bad things that have gone on, but I've really enjoyed doing YouTube. Again, it's been really fun and you guys are so great. I enjoy the comments that you leave. I love the fragrance community in general. It's just been such a positive experience. So thank you for being a part of that. Yeah, it's been wonderful. And I thank you for your engagement and just the fun that we've had this year. So before we get started, I guess that's it. I gotta do my finger thing. Okay, so I'm gonna start. I've got 10 fragrances here, but I want to start with an honorable mention. And it was honestly one of the first perfumes I smelt at the beginning of the year. Like, so before I bought my Mugler Alien, the sales associate at our department store, it's called the Bay, he gave me a sample of the Only One Intense by Dolce & Gabbana, and I kept that little sample and I kept trying it, and it was one of the first perfumes that I tried in the year, and it happened to be a new release. And this one has gotten a lot of hype recently for good reason. It's a beautiful scent. I love the opening especially. It's got green apple. To me it comes across as kind of a boozy with a bit of coconut. There's some white florals, but what like that kind of dissipates, and then you get this kind of warm, creamy cedar wood, cashmere wood, I think. And so it kind of dries down into this warm, sweet, woody scent. So I really love this one, but I don't find that I gravitate towards it very much. Like, I love sniffing it, but I can't say that I've worn it tons. So this one's just an honorable mention. So I guess I'm putting 11 in here. This one is definitely worth the try. It's beautiful. I think it's sophisticated. I also think that this one would work very well as a unisex scent. So I think a lot of guys could pull this one off. So sniff this one if you haven't already. Now, the first kind of blind buy that I did included Alien Eau Sublime, which I absolutely love, and Sofia by Sofia Vergara. I have to mention this in my top 20 because I have worn this one tons. I know it doesn't look like I've worn it tons, but I've got a lot of perfumes, so this has definitely been in the rotation a lot. It's one that I constantly want to sniff. It's got some currant, I think black currant in there, plum. Normally I'm not a huge plum fan, but I love it in here. It's got jasmine, rose, just, you know, kind of the usual notes. It's classy, it's juicy, it's beautiful, and it's extremely affordable. So this one I highly recommend. Yeah, it's been compared to Coco Mademoiselle, but actually a lot of people like this one more. I like them both, and I'm mentioning both of them. So Coco Mademoiselle is next. This is like the younger, flirtier sister of Coco Mademoiselle. It's sophisticated, it's beautiful, but it's a little brighter, sweeter, and I love it. And I have worn it lots, and yeah, will continue to do so. This is one that I think that most women would enjoy and should consider getting for their collection because it's so affordable. So this is a great everyday perfume. The next one is Coco Mademoiselle. I love this one. In fact, if ever there was a perfume that I sniff the most, it would be this one. So I find whenever I'm kind of feeling down, this would be the perfume that I would want to smell. I don't know why, but this one uplifts my mood. If I'm feeling a little bit nauseous for whatever reason, this kind of like calms my stomach. I don't know what this, don't know what kind of sorcery is in this thing, but it is awesome. So I love this perfume. I also love it because it was a Mother's Day gift from my husband and son. So this one is beautiful. It's long lasting. It's Chanel, so it's like totally like, I don't know, it's kind of just special to have a Chanel in my collection. So I've smelled Coco Noir and have been tempted to get that one, but honestly, this is my favorite. I've tried the Intense. I think there's a new version, a Privé out of this, and I still prefer the original. So this one will always be in my collection. I love it. It definitely is one that I've worn more in the spring and summer, but really it's a year-round perfume as well. Yeah, I just think it's beautiful. So the next in my top 10 would be Olympia Aqua. Now, if I had the original Olympia, I would probably choose that one, but this one I just love. I really love that salt. I love the sweetness in it. I love the warmth. I love the jasmine in it. But I also love that citrus opening. So this one is just a little fresher, a little lighter, a little less cloying. And this is another one, like, I guess the thing that makes me go to a perfume is if I sniff it and I go, like I get that response, then I know it's a perfume for me. And this one does it for me. I wore this one tons during the spring and summer. And it's just an absolute keeper. So Olympia Aqua by Paco Rabanne. I highly recommend this one. One of my most worn for sure throughout the year, and I am so glad I have this. Now the next one is another affordable one, really affordable, and it's Zara's Rich Warm Addictive. Now I haven't talked about this very much on my channel, but I can't stop smelling this. I wear this pretty much every night to bed. Now my son took my first bottle and he has almost used the whole entire thing up. So this is the second bottle. And yeah, I wear this one pretty much every night to bed. I'll wear some other scents every once in a while, but this one, it smells, it's sweet, slightly honey-esque, boozy scent. I don't notice the tobacco. I guess the tobacco could be like a sweeter tobacco, but I'm not really getting that. What I get is kind of a honeyed boozy scent. And I just think that the name suits it. A lot of times with Zara perfumes, their names, like it'll be like Wonder Rose and it doesn't have any rose in it. This one suits the name Rich Warm Addictive. It's super sweet, super gourmand. It's light enough that you can douse yourself in it, but you can also just give yourself a couple sprays, so it's not intrusive. It's a gorgeous bedtime scent. It's also super sexy, super snuggly, and it is amazing. If you haven't smelled this one, you have to smell it. It is in the men's section of Zara. It's, I think, $25 or something like that in Canadian. And this one is such a steal of a deal. Like you just try it. It's amazing. I love it. So yeah, give it a go. Now the next one was, it started out as I had gotten some samples from Be Layered, and Dolled Up is the inspired scent for Yves Saint Laurent Supreme Bouquet. And this one was a bit of a shocker to me. I don't know what it is about this one. I think it's the pear, but I am in love with this one. It's pretty much right now the top of my list. Like, I would say this is my favorite perfume out of my whole entire collection, which is pretty amazing because it's a Be Layered, but I love this one. So I started with a 5 ml sample, and then I had really wanted to get it. And my good friend Lori, she bought a full bottle and she wasn't crazy about it. So she passed it on to me, and it was the best gift of the year. Oh my God, I love this perfume. So this one has pear, it has dried fruits in it, which I tend to really love that dried fruits note. So I've noticed it in Tom Ford's Tobacco Vanille, which I also really love. But this one, it has tuberose, it's got jasmine, so it's a lot of white florals in this. But I just love the combination of tuberose, pear, the fruit, It's just beautiful. And then, you know, you get a little bit of like ylang in there. So it's just kind of a little bit syrupy. And I can't say enough about this. The longevity on this is amazing. And I would say that this is one of my most complimented perfumes. So it's not like I get a ton of compliments, but this one, when I wear it, I tend to get a compliment. So this one is just amazing. And I would say it's at the top of my collection. Yeah. And like, I don't know what the original Supreme Bouquet smells like, but I don't feel the need to go get it because I have this one right now, and I adore this scent. Now the next one is just kind of, it's amazing, and it's just the straight old Alien by Mugler. Now I do have Alien Essence Absolute. I probably talk about that one more often, but this one is just amazing. It's sexy. It's a little bit clean, like a little bit of a soapy edge, but I don't know. It's just beautiful. And whenever I wear this one, I just feel good. I feel like I look good. So yeah, this scent makes me feel just a little bit like saucy. But I also like wearing this one during the day. I don't think that I would reserve this for an evening scent. So this is one that I love it. I love the scent of Alien. I will never be without it in my collection. It's a keeper for life. So yeah, love Alien by Mugler. So the next scent that I have for you is Hugo Boss's The Scent Private Accord. Now, Jeremy Fragrance talked about this tons. And I was tempted to get it, but then Karina Waldron talked about it and she wasn't really crazy about it. Like, it was just okay for her. And then my friend Lori bought it and I borrowed it from her and I fell in love with it. So I bought a bottle. This one opens with mandarin orange, and then it has coffee and osmanthus in the mids. Then it has cacao and tonka bean in the base. To me, this one's a very linear scent. It smells like chocolate. It smells like chocolate orange. So you get that bright mandarin to begin with, but you also get that chocolate or the cacao. To me, this smells like if you were, like, it's not like cocoa powder. It would be like if you took a expensive, like, I'm thinking Ghirardelli chocolate bar, cold, and put it through a rasp. So it was really, really fine, almost powdered from the milk chocolate bar. And then you take that and you put it on your tongue, and then you take a bite of a mandarin orange. That's kind of what this smells like. So it's just, I love it. It's warm, it's kind of sexy, but it's extremely edible. And I just think it's beautiful. It smells like a By Terry's chocolate orange, and I love those chocolate oranges at Christmas. But this one, yeah, it doesn't last long on the skin. But what I do, this is one where I just kind of give myself a huge spray, kind of walk into the cloud of it, it kind of goes on your clothes, and I find that it lasts fine. And I don't mind topping up on this one because it's not, like, it's just kind of I don't know, it's just a nice scent. Like, I'll walk by my bedroom and just give myself a spritz. So this one's beautiful. I think it's great for kind of a stay-at-home evening scent. It's not strong, so you could wear this during the day, no problem. Yeah, I just think it's really pretty. I really, really enjoy this one. It's one that I, like, it's another one of those ones that just makes me feel warm inside. I think because of the chocolate orange combination. And yeah, I just really enjoy smelling this and wearing it. So yeah. Now the next scent that really shocked me was Elie Saab Le Parfum. Now this one, the reason why it shocked me is because I never thought I would be into like majorly floral scents. So as I started to get into perfume, I've always kind of liked rose scents. But anything with a white floral, just, I thought to myself, it wasn't for me. And as I began my perfume journey this year, I found that I gravitated towards, you know, jasmine, like something with jasmine I was okay with, like Alien. But I tended to gravitate towards more gourmandy type perfumes, seemingly, until I ran across this one, Elie Saab Le Parfum. Now this one, It opens with orange blossom. And I never thought I'd be into orange blossom. I just thought it was too heavy or too heady. But then it goes into jasmine, and then what really makes this one special, in the base, this one has honey, patchouli, rose, and cedar. And so this opens up super white floral, but then as it dries down, you get that sweetness and a little bit of spice, like a sweetness from the honey and a spice from the cedar. So this, to me, doesn't smell like, although it's a bit heady in the opening with that orange blossom, it's kind of like a sophisticated, sexy day perfume. This is one that I also get tons of compliments when I wear it. Like, I've gotten more than one compliment, like tons of compliments. There's probably two. So I don't ever get many compliments, but this one and Dolled Up tend to be the ones, Chanel, like the Coco Mademoiselle, the ones that tend to be a little bit lighter white florals are the ones I get complimented on. This one, yeah, it's just beautiful. I really enjoy wearing it. Yeah, whenever I want to smell classy or sophisticated, this one is oftentimes the one I'll pull out. And I've really been enjoying this in the colder weather. It still projects really well. So I love this one. Give this one a try. The other one that I like is Elie Saab Le Parfum Royal. It's a little bit spicier. It has some rose in it, but that one's really beautiful and quite sexy too. But I love this. I also like the In White. So I don't own either the Royal or In White. But the In White, it smells, there's a bit more fruit to it. So to me, it smelt a little bit more youthful than this one. Not that this one smells mature, but I found that the In White has a little bit of, I don't know if it's got osmanthus or if it's got, I think it's got peach in it actually. So it's got a peachy kind of fruity note there. But I found that this one was more sophisticated, and it just, to me, it exudes class with a little bit of sex appeal in there. So this one I have loved wearing, and yeah, it's also a beautiful bottle. This feels like show and tell. I love it. Okay, so the next one is one by Ferrero Mahora, and it's the Pure Royal 900. It's the inspired scent for Tom Ford's Lost Cherry. Now, that was also a bit of a surprise to me because I've never liked cherry notes. Because to me, whenever I've smelt them in the past, they smelt a bit cough syrupy. So I wasn't a fan until I smelt Lost Cherry, and I could not stop smelling my sister's wrist when she tried it on in Sephora. Like, I just kept on having to sniff it. So finally I sprayed it on myself. Loved it. But the longevity wasn't great, and I wasn't going to pay $455. Like, sorry, not doing it on Lost Cherry. So, but I loved that cherry note. Like, I just was, addicted. And so I went on the hunt for a Lost Cherry dupe. Be Layered has one called Cherry Delight. To me, that's not a great dupe. Like, it's a beautiful scent. I love the scent because I love that top note of cherry. But it's not a full-on dupe because it just stays linear, and you just get that bright, delicious, or that kind of like that boozy cherry note. And it's just kind of like a single note almost. So although I like it, it doesn't develop the same way that Tom Ford's Lost Cherry does. This one does. This one smells like Tom Ford Lost Cherry. The performance is decent on this one. And I thought, like, when I wear it on myself, I find that I smell that bright top cherry note to begin with, but then after about an hour and a half, I can't smell it as much because it starts to develop into the woods, a little bit more of the spicy wood type scent. But on my son, he's addicted to wearing this one. This one and my Ferrero Mahora Tobacco Vanille dupe. My son wears those all the time. In fact, he has his own bottle of the Tobacco Vanille, and he's addicted to both of them. And honestly, like in my dupe review, I was really hard on the Tobacco Vanille. I still think that the Perfume Parlor one is better, but when I smell the Ferrero Mahora one on my son, it smells like tobacco vanille. Like if I were to smell that on him, I'd go, oh, you have tobacco vanille on. So like when it's on another person, you can't differentiate. It's only if you're like sniffing and really picking it apart that you would notice. So I love this Ferrero Mahora Lost Cherry dupe. I just think it's beautiful. I love smelling it in the bottle. I love wearing this one on its own. I like pairing it with this one as well. I've paired it with the Tobacco Vanille as well. So this one to me is a great layering one. It's the most versatile one to layer because you kind of get wood and boozy cherry. So to me, cherry and woods kind of can flow into lots of different scent profiles. So I love this one. Like you could even pair it with this one. And you know, you have kind of a chocolate covered cherry orangey scenario. So this one is awesome. Oh, I think that this would be great with Poison Girl as well. I can see this just kind of giving it a little extra whatever. So this is awesome. The woman that I get it from, her name is, like you can get it on Instagram. Fragspell is her name. I'll leave all her contact information in the description bar. But yeah, I really recommend this one. I think it was 30 euros for 50 mils, which works out to about 46 Canadian, I think. So to me, this is really great bang for your buck, because like it smells very, very similar to the Tom Ford Lost Cherry. So this one is definitely one that I'm enjoying. It's one that my son enjoys. And yeah, I'm really glad I have it. Now the last perfume is, I don't know why, but it's one of my favorites. Well, what I'm realizing is I really love pear. So I love Dolled Up. I love Labelle. Now this one, I wasn't crazy about it to begin with. Like I smelt it and I'm like, oh, I don't know. Lori gave me this one as well. Thank you, Lori. Thank you for supplying me with so many of these perfumes and helping me in my discovery. Like, I'm really thankful that, like how nice, right? So anyway, this is like the main notes of this are pear, vetiver, and vanilla. Everyone talks about it. The bottle is gorgeous. I get compliments from this one as well. So yes, I love this one. I love wearing it. It's one that I want to wear quite often. Like I keep on gravitating towards it. So definitely top, top, top. So out of these 10, if I were to pick my absolute top shelf perfumes, ones that I cannot stop wearing, to be honest, it would be, again, Dolled Up, Labelle, and then Rich, Warm, Addictive. So this one is super affordable and just smells so great. This is my bedtime. This is my bedtime delight. Like it's my little guilty pleasure is smelling like this when I go to bed. I get into bed and I just sniff myself to sleep. I kind of do. I sniff myself to sleep. Anyway, this one's awesome. So that's it. These are my top 10/11 for 2020. I hope that you enjoyed. I hope that you guys have an amazing Christmas. I know I alluded to it last video, but this has been a different year. And for me, you know, with all the health issues that my son has had on top of it, 2020 has been interesting. But I feel like in the midst of everything that's gone on, this has honestly been one of the most satisfying years ever, honestly. And I think it's because all of a sudden when something happens, for me, it wasn't COVID. For me, it was my son's health. And all of a sudden things become crystal clear. And all of a sudden you know what's important. Family is important. You know, spending time with those you care about, that's what's important. My faith is what's important. And my faith is what's gotten me through, because I could rise above my circumstances and walk in joy and peace, and find joy and peace in the simplest things. And sometimes when life gets pared down, sometimes it was forced this year, But I just feel like I took advantage of the fact that things got pared down. We couldn't go out as much. You just couldn't do as many things. And I got to enjoy my husband and my son. And so there's so many things that I'm thankful for over this year. And I hope that you can find some things to be thankful for too. Yeah, so I hope that you have an amazing Christmas, even if it's quiet. My prayer for you is that you would experience peace and joy regardless of your circumstances, and that you would find yourself feeling extremely grateful for all the things that are truly meaningful in our life, like the richest things. Perfumes are fun, but the things that are really important are our relationships, our health, our emotional well-being, and how we take care of ourselves. These are things, how we love ourselves, how we love others. These are the things that are so important and bring so much richness to our lives. So anyway, hope that you have a Merry Christmas, and yeah, we'll talk to you soon.